But that's the issue with, are you von Hayek or are you Keynesian? Do you interfere with the commanding heights? Do you interfere with the economy?
You have to interfere when it benefits the market, when it benefits competition, when it benefits...
But what if you interfere for political reasons?
Then, yeah, you're harming. That's corruption. It's corruption.
That's the name of that. Because people are looking at China and saying China can turn on a dime. They know that the great demand for whatever it is, they can just truck people in from the rural environments and create factories in a blink of an eye. And we, in a free environment, have to wait for the markets to take over and do it, naturally. The Chinese do it unnaturally. So we can always say, I'd like to have hundreds of plastic factories in China tomorrow, and the Chinese make it happen. You ask Ohio to do it, and Ohio says, no, I'm going to let the market do it, and we're going to wait. So authoritarian regimes seem to be able to pull shit off that nobody usually can, and the market responds immediately.
They fuck up like and they are ultimately doing us harm because they're making us addicted to cheap, almost free product, And once what happens to them, once our true hearts come out and say we want freedom for them, what's going to happen to us? We're going to get screwed. Maybe we will get some authoritarian regime over here.
Oh, you're just recording?
One of the biggest dangers, in my opinion, is to reverse the chicken and the egg. Imagine coming up to a country and saying, we don't necessarily come in and use our military, our influence to change your political environment. We're going to just change your economic environment. So we're interested in the first step to democracy, which I'm going to call it capitalism.
Yeah.
And by the time we've reached a capitalistic environment, I'm going to hope that you people, whoever it is, whichever country we're trying to influence, pray to God, are one day going to be capitalistic. Unfortunately, in my opinion, that doesn't work because we've been inside it ever since 1938. Sitting there, nurturing their economy, making sure, whatever artificial economy they have, that one day, the fact that they have a free capitalistic environment, one day democracy comes in the coattails of their economy. What if that's not the truth? What if one day
these aren't real economies. Countries like Saudi Arabia, these are artificial economies created by... These are resource economies, resource-driven economies.
What if there's a theory that says democracy doesn't come first, capitalism comes first, and we're not going to lead democracies on the march. We're going to say capitalism
happens that way.
It's true, like the French Revolution is actually a good example. Any revolution in the world. In that sense, I do agree with Greg, but erase this part.
Okay. Yes. We've just discussed that market forces are at work, even in authoritarian regimes. If they're being interventionists, they actually poison their own economy because the economy has been sustained by the fact that they are not interfering with businesses. But the moment they do interfere with businesses, everybody bails out of Dubai, of Singapore, of China. So in the end, market forces are at work even in authoritarian capitalistic environments. So market forces are still at work.
And they always seem to be pulled by that. And if they're not done under some sort of formal platform, corruption takes into effect. And they take a little bit of that
but we're talking about
capitalistic environment.
But we're talking about capitalistic environments that are not free environments. And what we...
I agree a little bit with Greg. Because I do believe that free market kind of societies do lead to democracy eventually.
But
it's impossible to find a free market system, but at the same time, it's like a chicken or the egg, It's very hard to find a system, a free market system in a authoritarian. Even if it's a rightist regime, even like a Pinochet, or even like the Nazis or fascists in Italy. These are state-controlled economy.
But what people always say is, I rather put my money in a free environment, which has has longevity, and I do not trust a authoritarian environment because at any moment they can take over my business. But that's the point. Market forces are at work even in an authoritarian environment.
They are. They always are.
They are because you lose the environment.
Maybe not, because stability doesn't doesn't mean authoritarian or non-authoritarian. Stability just means stable. Investors always want to put their money on a stable environment. China is authoritarian, however, it's stable. It's very stably authoritarian, let's call it that way. So in fact, maybe investors don't have anything to do with authoritarian or non-authoritarian. They have to do with the fact of what's going to happen to my money for 5 years from now. Are we going to continue playing the rules of the game? That's the only thing they care
That's
about.
what they care. So the correlation between capitalism and democracy is actually very thin. There's really not that much.
It's irrelevant.
Give me examples
To the
of
investment community, it's irrelevant. Actually, a lot of investment communities love authoritarianism because it's something they can control. What they don't like is cyclicality.
It's fixed.
They want something fixed. Something fixed.
It's a fixed horse race. It's not gambling. It's
What we don't like, the worst thing that can happen to an investment community is that an authoritarian regime all of a sudden becomes a free regime. What the fuck is going to happen to my money?
Well, there's the instability behind it.
There's instability. We don't like that either. I don't know.
Don't they call it money is a coward?